Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Chris with the Home Dad DIY, and today we are going to build this. It is a simple Adirondack chair made out of 2x4s, 1x10. I'd like to thank Anna White for these plans. They're extremely simple and easy to follow, so let's get to it. You're going to need 4 2x4s that are 8 foot long. You're going to need one 1x6 that is 10 feet long. The other thing you're going to need is some 2.5 inch self-tapping screws, and I also got some 2-inch self-tapping screws, things like the seats and things like that. Step 1, cut everything out. Take the first 2x4. First cut is going to be 5 19.5 inch cuts out of 2x4s. This will be our legs and our horizontal supports. After you get all those cut, go ahead and mark those A. I like to keep everything organized this way. Our next cut is going to be 2 31 3/4 inch cuts out of 2x4s. These are going to be our arms, and we're going to mark those B. Next cut is going to be 2 33 1/4 inch stringers out of 2x4s, and we're going to go ahead and mark those C. Next is 2 32 3/4 back supports out of 2x4s, and we're going to go ahead and mark those D. Next cut is 2 22.5 inch cuts out of the 1x10s, and these are going to be our seats. Mark those E. And then we're going to cut out 3 19.5 inch cuts. This will be our back, and we're going to go ahead and mark those F. All right, now we're going to cut 20-degree off square on the C's. Here's the C cuts. We had them marked. This is the hardest part of this whole build, okay? There's 2 different methods you can use. You can use a miter saw like I have here, or a skill saw. We're gonna use the miter saw, but I'll kinda walk you through if you want to use your skill saw. Go ahead and set your miter saw to 20 degree. You're going to cut right from one edge. Here's kind of a close-up of what it looks like. This is what it should look like. It's gonna look like a parallelogram. Take your board and just turn it and put it back. And cut the other side exactly the same. Take your square, put it up on the board, bring it up to the 20-degree mark, which is right here. You can see how this mark is. 20 degrees. Get it on the 20-degree mark. I know it's hard to see. See right on the end of the board after you pivot it so it looks like this. Take your pencil, and then you can take your skill saw and cut. So we're not using a skill saw, we're using a miter. Pocket holes drilled in the ones that need pocket holes. We're gonna get the special cuts that are gonna need for the legs that go to the ground. So once all this is done, we can just assemble it. If you want to drill pocket holes, you're gonna need a kit like this. This is a Craig. It works really well if you use it correctly. I'm refilming this portion because I did not use it correctly when you're gonna make pocket holes for the joining parts, 2 of these A board. Because I wanna make sure that it gets done correctly when you're building. I'm gonna put the setting on 1.5 inches. Make sure your bit is on 1.5 inches. You'll see the mistake I made later in the video because I did not do my pocket holes correctly. Put it up on there, lamp her down. Make sure your bit is on 1.5. Boom, pocket holes. And once you do this side, you're gonna flip it around and do the other side. Pocket holes on this side, pocket holes on his side. You're gonna do 2 A's just like that. All right, this is how these stringers are gonna sit. We're gonna make a cut that's like this. So you're gonna measure up from the low side of that cut, 2.5 inches, and make a mark. Then you're gonna take your square, set it up against there with the straight edge, and make a 90-degree line. From that mark, do this on both. It should look like this. Take it over to the miter, cut on that line. The 20-degree offcut, the side that goes to the ground right here. All right, we're all finished up with the saw. We don't need it anymore. All the cuts are done. They're all right here. Time to assemble. Before we do, let's take a minute for this video's sponsor, East Oak, who sent me this 48,000 BTU patio heater. It came extremely well packed, and here is everything that was included in the box. Assembly was very easy. Instructions were simple to follow. All hardware was clearly marked, so there was no guessing games for what goes where. All in all, I had it together in about 35 minutes. After assembly, I was very happy with the height. I'm 6'1", and there was plenty of room for me to walk under this thing. It took about 5 seconds to get it started, and it was putting off plenty of heat to warm this entire patio area, no problem. Other features of this patio heater, it comes with wheels so you can easily move this thing around. It also includes a safety protection system, which if knocked over or tilted more than 45 degrees, it will cut itself off. And also comes with a nice tabletop design for a perfect place to set your drink. Thank you, East Oak, for sponsoring this video, and you will find a link to this patio heater in the description below. Now let's get back to putting these chairs together. You take your 1B, lay it this way. Take your 1A, lay it this way. These are self-tapping outdoor screws. If you're like me, make it easier on yourself. Hold them together. Two. Boom. Now, if this makes sense, this is going to be your arm and your leg, and then you're going to go grab your C-cut, and if it makes sense to you, it's going to be like this. So go ahead, lay it down, take our measuring tape. We are going to measure out 13 3/4 right here. You're going to take your C-cut, and you are going to take it right up to that mark that you made on the top side, this top side of this cut. Pop in there a little bit. Clamp her down to hold her tight. Put her right on that mark. Now don't make the mistake. The other side is going to be a mirror image of this one. Assembled this one laying down like this. Where the mistakes come in, we're going to assemble this one laying down like this. So we go ahead and do the exact same thing on this side. There you go. Boom. When we attach everything together, we want to make sure these legs that go down like this are on the inside. I made the mistake on the first one that I built backwards. Go ahead and flip over your arms and legs that you made. And remember, these need to be on the inside. Take your AP, which is the one, an A with pocket holes. Go ahead and set it right there. We're gonna go ahead and attach this back. Get them lined up. Make sure everything's all lined up. Go ahead and, sorry about that, guys, my battery died. We'll drill the pocket holes in. Make sure you're real careful, you don't need to go too far. Once you get that drilled in there, go ahead and flip her around, just like that, and grab you another AP, which is an A with pocket holes. It's going to go right in here, and you want to line it up just like this. This is how you want to install it. Boom. Here's your frame. Next, you're gonna install the seats. You go ahead and get your eaves. You're gonna install them. The first one all the way up. Make sure it's even on the outside, just like that. It's hard to get your drill up under these arms, so going in at an angle is just fine. They say it's actually better. Don't worry too much about it. You have kids at home and they have magnetiles, this works great. Want about a 1/4 of an inch gap. Do the same thing. Once you got those installed, grab our backs, which are D-cuts. Some of y'all are probably wondering what's this last board going to be used for and why is it still here. We're going to use that in a minute. We're going to go ahead and attach our D-cuts, which is the back support. We're going to take it, we're going to just slide it on down in here. Go ahead and take 2 2.5 inch screws and get them pre-tapped. You're going to want to take and slide this up. Look down here, you can see that my finger is holding it up. You want it flush with the bottom. Drill those in. You see how it's sagging? That's why we got this, to make this the perfect height that we need it to be. So when we attach these backs to here, it's in the right position. I asked for my wife's help for this one because I need both my hands. Go ahead and take your A-cut that we had from the last A-cut we have, put it up under here. Go ahead and push that back leg all the way down flat on the level surface of the table. I went ahead and pre-tapped my screws to make this a little bit easier. Go ahead. Drive it in. That one's done. I'm gonna move over to the other side. All right guys, full disclosure, it didn't turn out as level as I wanted it to be. This side was still off. It was wobbling just a tad. To fix it, I took both of these screws out and pushed it back down again and then went back in again, and then here we are. We're nice and stable. A little quick thing, not a big deal. Don't be too hard on yourself if it's not perfectly level. Just take them back out and try again. And all we got left is the backs. You start at the top and you work your way down. Your 3F board cuts. Take your first board and match it flush with the top. I'm always a big fan of pre-starting my screws. It just makes things so much easier. Remember that magnetol from earlier that we used on the seat? Almost forgot about that last piece. Actually, the second to last step, not the last step, but I don't think it really makes a difference. So putting the bracket on here, which is another A piece that we use to level this out. Go ahead and flip it over. Let's move on to sanding. Got that thing sanded down, just went over everything, made sure everything was nice and smooth. And then we move on to our staining. I used a stain and sealer for outdoor and it went on real easy. I think it looks really good. I think it'll protect it for a while.
She just got off school, had to go get it from the bus stop. She's gonna help me out.
We stained the entire thing from top to bottom. Everything. I don't know if that's absolutely necessary, but we made sure to do it anyway. Why not? And look at these beauties. Don't forget, if you're looking for an affordable patio heater for these winter months, go ahead and check out the 48,000 BTU patio heater from East Oak. Link in description below. We'll catch you next time.